Merkel doubles down on her criticism of Trump after G7 summit, saying she was just being honest with the US when she warned that Europe can no longer rely on his America. Angela Merkel isn't backing down from her remarks about the European Union not being able to trust Donald Trump's America, her spokesman has warned. Merkel remains committed to US-German relations but has little confidence in the Trump administration, Steffen Seibert confirmed in a regular government news conference in Berlin on Monday. The Chancellor's words stand on their own. They were clear and comprehensible, he said. It was a deeply convinced trans-Atlanticist who spoke. On Sunday, Merkel, who had just come from a string of NATO meetings with Trump, said at a campaign event in Bavaria, "Their times in which we can fully count on others are somewhat over, as I have experienced in the past few days. And that is why I can only say that we Europeans must really take our fate into our own hands. Of course, in friendship with the United States of America, in friendship with Great Britain, and as good neighbors wherever that is possible, also with other countries, even with Russia." The remarks came the day after a stormy G7 summit in Italy, in which Trump frustrated Merkel and the other leaders in attendance with his stance towards security, climate change and tax. Merkel was still standing by those words on Monday, Seibert said. But he stressed that Germany still considered the US an ally. "Those of you who have reported on the Chancellor for a long time will know how important German-American relations are to her," he told the news conference. "They are a firm pillar of our foreign and security policy, and Germany will continue to work to strengthen these relations." He added, "Because transatlantic relations are so important to this Chancellor, it is right from her viewpoint to speak out honestly about differences." In Vienna, European Central Bank Governing Council member Ewald Whitney was asked whether difficult political relations between Europe and the United States were causing any downside risk for the world economy. He replied, "No. I have to say, this is an advantage that central banks have relative to the governments." Whitney described ECB cooperation with the US Federal Reserve as very good, very intensive. "Fortunately, central banks are independent and not dependent on the short-term political discussions," he said. The comments came after the G7 countries were unable to agree to a deal that would see the 2015 Paris Climate Accords upheld. Merkel on Saturday labeled the result of the 6-against-1 discussion very difficult, not to say very unsatisfactory. Trump, who routinely promised during his campaign to abandon the plan, said he needed more time to decide on a path forward. However, he has reportedly told multiple people in private he will withdraw the US from the agreement, according to Axios. Trump tweeted Saturday morning to say he would announce his final decision on the accord this week. He also reportedly described German trade practices as bad, very bad, in Brussels talks last week, complaining that Europe's largest economy sells too many cars to the US. Merkel's speech on Sunday seemed to reflect her changed opinion towards the US under Trump. During her remarks, the German leader emphasized the need for friendly relations with the US, Britain and Russia, but added, "We Europeans must really take our destiny into our own hands." Merkel and Trump have had a frosty relationship, with the Celebrity Apprentice executive producer having called the German leader a disaster. "What's happening in Germany? I always thought Merkel was like this great leader. What she's done in Germany is insane. It is insane," he said in 2015. During her remarks, the German leader emphasized the need for friendly relations with the US, Britain and Russia, but added, "We Europeans must really take our destiny into our own hands." Merkel and Trump have had a frosty relationship, with the Celebrity Apprentice executive producer having called the German leader a disaster. "What's happening in Germany? I always thought Merkel was like this great leader. What she's done in Germany is insane. It is insane," he said in 2015.